This is WDAZ News at 10. Your news starts now.
More layoffs in the region. This time, a major employer in Roseau is handing out the pink slips. Good evening. More than 100 workers lost their jobs at Polaris. Nationwide economic troubles are finally starting to reach our area, it appears.
Yeah, well, that brought one assembly line shift at Polaris Industries screeching to a halt. WDAZ's Joel Porter was in Roseau today. He has the story.
2008 started as a productive one on the floor at Polaris Industries, but as the fall approached, sales numbers fell, and Director of Operations Mark Carl was left with a difficult choice.
As things slowed and kind of reached a plateau, we no longer needed the additional capacity, so what we've done, instead of building lower quantities on 2 shifts, we're going to build a higher quantity on 1 shift.
More than 100 workers who make up the second shift are now laid off from the plant. Carl isn't sure how long the layoff will last, but says that will depend on how the economy rebounds.
And only go back to 2 shifts if we really see some significant growth. I would not expect to see that level of growth in 2009.
In the meantime, the first shift is focusing on turning out the remainder of the 09 ATV models for the summer before starting on next year's snowmobile fleet.
Maybe snowmobile sales aren't what they would have been on a good economy year with this kind of snow, but you see a lot of people snowmobiling, and that's a positive news for the industry in general, because that means the sport is still alive.
Despite sales numbers, Carl says 2008 will be one of the company's best years in terms of profit sharing. In Roseau, Joel Porter, WDAZ News.
And Carl says even though snowmobile sales have been slightly down, January has been a good month for other departments. Earlier this month, Polaris had one of its largest shipping days out of parts, garments, and accessories in the company's history.
And while the economy may be affecting several area industries, officials at Articat say they won't have to lay off any workers just yet. Workers at the Thief River Falls factory of Articat have already finished building the 2009 series of snowmobiles. Now they're getting ready to pre-build ATV units for the summer and the 2010 models. Articat's Bruce Vandy says the company is on pace sales-wise with where they were at last year, and at this time, no workers need to be laid off. Well, frigid weather is making a comeback, but we still have tomorrow.
Here's Storm Tracker meteorologist John Wheeler with a first look.
Good evening. Tonight's weather playing out about as expected. The one difference is it's dropped a little colder than I thought it would by this time. It's already down to 12 degrees, which just means it will be a little bit colder in the morning. No major change to the forecast, though. Despite a chilly start to the day, I still think it'll warm up into the 20s one more time before much colder weather spills into the area starting tomorrow night. Details in my forecast coming up.
Grand Forks Air Force Base officials are investigating a report of a camera found in a women's locker room on the base. Officials say the camera was discovered on Friday and an active duty service member is identified as a suspect. Investigators say the recorded video is of an isolated area of the locker room and that no portion of the showers or restrooms was recorded. They looked for more cameras but didn't find any. Officials say it appears to be an isolated incident. The base says it's developing procedures to routinely inspect all restrooms and locker areas and looking at their access procedures for the locker rooms at the gym.
Police have now made an arrest in the Devil's Lake fire last month that left 7 people with no place to live and injured 1 person. Shelley Rood is charged with 2 counts of endangering with fire or explosion. Each is a Class B felony, carrying a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Rood lived in the apartment building. She told police afterward that the fire was caused by supernatural causes. She is out of jail on a $5,000 cash bail. Rood will appear in Ramsey County Court on January 26th.
A former Rolette County sheriff is facing criminal charges this evening. Richard Turcotte is charged with 2 counts of refusing to perform duties while sheriff. Turcotte was removed from office last July. Court documents say he let a man leave the scene of a vehicle in a ditch, even though he knew there was a warrant for the man's arrest. Turcotte is also accused of disobeying a judge's order to put a woman in jail after she tested positive for drugs. Both charges are misdemeanors that carry a maximum of 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine. 2009. Turcotte's next appearance in court is January 30th. Well, a Minnesota man involved in a standoff with deputies in Larimore last October is sentenced to more than 2 years in prison. Police say Brandon Cook of Deer River hit his wife and fired a handgun several times inside his family's RV. Authorities say Cook later emerged from the RV with the gun, scuffled with deputies, and was eventually tased. No one was seriously hurt. Cook is sentenced to 27 months in prison on several charges, including terrorizing and assaulting a peace officer.
His first day on the job, he got to the office early. President Barack Obama got his administration underway today, full speed ahead. With a massive ambition to reform government and society alike, the new president started in his own house. First executive orders of his presidency, a pay freeze for senior White House staff making more than $100,000 a year, and a ban on gifts for those working in the Obama White House. The new administration also called for closing Guantanamo Bay within a year and halting any war crimes trials. Hillary Clinton is now Secretary of State. At 5:30 this evening, she was officially sworn in as the 67th Secretary of State. Attending the private ceremony in her Senate office was President Clinton, as well as her entire D.C. staff. The Bible used belonged to the senator's late father. Earlier in the day, the Senate confirmed her immediately after Senator Clinton resigned from her U.S. Senate seat. Hollywood is waiting for a very early crew call in the morning. The 2009 Oscar nominations. The awards will be announced at 5:38 Pacific time tomorrow morning from Hollywood. And if the Golden Globes are any indication, look for Slumdog Millionaire to be in the pack for Best Picture. The Oscar Awards will be telecast live on ABC WDAZ on Sunday, February 22nd. Products made in America are sometimes hard to find. One store in Illinois hopes to change that for shoppers. American Isle is the name of a store in Round Lake, Illinois, that opened just before Thanksgiving. The store's owners say everything they sell is 100% made in America. So far, the store sells about 1,000 different products from 22 different manufacturers. Norm Coleman's contest hearing started today over whether to include some rejected ballots in the Senate race recount. We'll tell you how it went after we return.
And in lieu of the election, Mark Ritchie toured Minnesota to get advice on voting.
You're watching WDAZ News, your home team, with Ann Stensrud, Milo Smith, meteorologist John Wheeler, and Pat Sweeney, sports. It's time for the Medical Minute, brought to you by Altru Health System.
Life is busy. When is there time to find out all the latest health-related news and information? On today's Medical Minute, Jennifer Croplin is here to tell us about a new free health resource tool available at altru.org. Jennifer, what is Altru eNews?
Altru eNews is a new resource tool available online at altru.org. Community members can sign up to receive free and timely information regarding health and wellness issues and community offerings available at Altru Health System.
What types of subscriptions are available?
Community members can sign up for a variety of information ranging from cancer and diabetes information to community events and news release notifications.
Jennifer, who are the authors of these newsletters?
Well, all of the authors are highly regarded in their area of topic. Depending on the topic, the newsletter could be written by a physician, a nurse, or someone in our public relations department. And let me add that most of the newsletters are written with the community members in mind.
That sounds convenient. How do I sign up?
Signing up is easy. Simply go to altru.org, select the Altru eNews button, and select the notifications you would like to receive, and submit your email address.
Thank you for being here today, Jennifer. For more information about Altru eNews and the subscriptions that are available and pertinent to you and your family, visit us at altru.org and sign up today.
Growing wheat and barley is serious business, where every acre has to produce not only a quality crop, but a return on investment. New Prosaro fungicide from Bayer can help. It's proven to offer superior activity on leaf and head diseases, improving yield under all types of conditions, thus maximizing profit. Growing with Prosaro, it's like growing money.
The news brought to you by Dahlstrom Motors.
The Senate race in Minnesota is still unresolved. This morning, a three-judge panel in Minnesota considered a motion by Democrat Al Franken's campaign. One of those judges in the panel is Pennington County Assistant Chief Judge Curtis Marbin of Thief River Falls. Franken's campaign wants Senator Norm Coleman's contest of the U.S. Senate recount results dismissed. Republican Norm Coleman says this is far from over.
So I was ahead in votes, rather behind right now, but I believe in the end we'll be where we were on election night, that I will be ahead.
Two key elements of his legal case include the possible double counting of some ballots and the non-counting of thousands of rejected absentee ballots. The three judges asked mostly technical questions at a hearing today. If they don't dismiss the case, the trial starts Monday. Well, this past November had more voters turn out in Minnesota than ever before.
And now Minnesota Secretary of State traveling the state, talking with election officials, trying to learn how to make it better next time around. That included a stop today in Crookston. WDAZ's David Schwab was there.
It was a Minnesota election that made state history with a record voter turnout.
Absentee voting doubled, for example. Overseas voting went up by 400%.
And for the first time in about 40 years, the state had its largest recount in the U.S. Senate race between Democrat Al Franken and Republican incumbent Norm Coleman. At first, Coleman led with a couple of hundred votes. But that turned around, and Franken finished with a 225-vote lead. Coleman is contesting.
The U.S. Senate race has actually been a great way to see both how strong our system is, how accurate it is, our machines, our local election officials, but also we do have close elections in Minnesota.
Minnesota Secretary of State Mark Ritchie is visiting Minnesota election officials in areas big and small. He is in Crookston listening to ideas and comments to make any future adjustments.
And then to take those ideas back to the legislature and make some changes so that we're really ready for the next big election.
One big change could be expanding absentee voting. Possibly a statewide registration system, meaning less restrictions on who could use an absentee ballot.
Instead of early voting, they might open up the absentee voting process to allow more to vote that way.
Maybe we're living in other states or overseas, lots of people in the military, and so we need to make sure that we keep making our voting systems match the way people are living their lives.
Ritchie says a big part of this visit was to give election officials here a pat on the back for hard work and long hours in the state's largest election. In Crookston, David Schwab, WDAZ News.
Ritchie says there are some rumors about the election that just aren't true, including a story that uncounted election ballots were found in the back seat of someone's car. A well-known Twin Cities attorney will be leading Norm Coleman's team in the Senate recount lawsuit. Joe Friedberg is the same attorney who defended Travis Day in his Grand Forks murder trial last month, in which he was found not guilty. Al Franken has filed that motion to dismiss the lawsuit. If the motion is not granted, that full trial, as we said, would start on Monday. The lawsuit raises issues about how the statewide recount, which gave Franken that 255-vote victory, was conducted. Well, if you've gotten used to the weather in the 20s, then you need to brace yourself.
Yeah, it's supposed to get colder very soon here. Storm Tracker meteorologist John Wheeler is in next with the latest.
Tonight's news is brought to you by Alltel Wireless. Want convenience when you travel? Fly your Grand Forks Airport. Close, quick, and easy.
Home of Economy Home Furnishings is doing it again, offering the absolute best prices on quality furniture during our January clearance sale. We're offering huge discounts, up to 60% off. Save on Country View woodworking, handcrafted furniture in our Amish gallery, Restonic bedding, Lane, Flex Steel, and much more. You must hurry. Many items are one of a kind and quantities are limited. For the best selection, you must shop now. Buy it today, love it tomorrow. During the January clearance sale on now at Home of Economy Home Furnishings. Furniture for a lifetime.
All right, look, at dark 30, you're not just hitting the snooze button. You're already a job and a half into the day. And there's one brand of trucks that's right there with you. Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks for 32 straight years. And because the all-new 09 F-150 is smarter, more productive, and tougher than ever, it's been named the 2009 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Hey, America's best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
Now get up to $4,000 cash back on the all-new 2009 F-150. Visit your Northland Ford dealers today.
Whatever you're celebrating, at Perkins Restaurants, we can celebrate together with our new all-day egg scramblers, starting at $5.99, now at Perkins.
How I love this sweet taste of revenge. Simple, flexible, worry-free. Huskie is the smart choice for broadleaf weed control. Come on! You know how this stuff works. Don't get smart, get even.
2 words, rotational flexibility. This is business.
That's right! The business of nailing 50 weeds. Even the resistant ones. 50? Wow.
Huskie brings out the best in you.
60 minutes of news and weather for you. Weekday mornings from 6 to 7. Only on WDAZ First News. The weather brought to you by Dakmin Blood Bank.
Good evening. Sunshine and light winds made for a gorgeous day out there today. Temperatures hit 28 this afternoon in Grand Forks. We were one of the warm spots around. 23 in Devil's Lake. Halleck only 19, same at Winnipeg. 21 was the temp at War Road. Over there in the Big Woods, Bemidji and Park Rapids hit 32 degrees. Oftentimes you get a little bit of a milder day, and sunny day especially. Some of the snow will melt off the pine trees, and that means that the sun is beaming down on dark green instead of white fields like it is over the rest of the year. That's why the North Woods will often heat up in sunny weather in the wintertime more than the valley. 28 degrees here, 19 in Winnipeg, 34 at Dickinson, Bismarck. And yes, it was 61 today down in Rapid City. Most of the area more reasonable, 20s and a few 30s. The warm weather made it up to about Rapid City today. It was 71 down at Denver, part of an air mass that brought 80-degree weather to Phoenix, 74 in Los Angeles today, and a gorgeous day in the 70s down across the state of Texas. Meanwhile, the eastern part of the country is still cold. Temperatures over most of the northeast and middle west in the 20s, a few spots in the 30s. Not too cold, though. However, that will be changing soon. Scattered snow showers throughout the east and a rainstorm in California. Now, we have been watching a large region of sunshine across the west, but the presence of widespread rain along the coast of California, again, a sign of a pattern change. There is another shift ongoing, and in our region, this is going to mean that an Arctic front is likely to drop down into our area. That Arctic front tonight is running down something like up here across this area, and so it's very cold north of that front, still relatively mild to the south of that front. 15 below the temperature tonight up in Churchill, Manitoba. That's the current reading. This time yesterday it was about 15 above. So that's where the Arctic front is, somewhere between Churchill and Winnipeg, closer to Churchill, but it's headed south where it should reach our area tomorrow night. Today in Grand Forks, the high was 28, low temperature 12. No snow out of the blue skies, although there have been a few flurries up in northern Minnesota and some areas of patchy, dense fog up in northern Minnesota tonight, not very widespread. 12 degrees in Grand Forks with a clear sky. Dew point is 8, the wind west-northwest at 8 miles an hour, and I look for it to drop a few more degrees across eastern North Dakota to around 4 in Devil's Lake, 6 in Grand Forks, 8 degrees in Winnipeg. Clouds up at War Road will keep temperatures in the teens. Midday readings will be mostly right around 20 degrees or so. And the northern areas will begin to cool down late. I think we'll hit about 23. But that Arctic front should arrive tomorrow evening, bringing falling temperatures that will continue to fall through the day on Friday. Tonight, mostly clear and chilly. Light wind, low around 6. Not a bad night weather. Partly cloudy tomorrow, still pretty mild. I think things will heat back up to at least the low 20s, mid-20s in some areas. Northwest wind 5 to 15. Notice we're going to lose the sunshine tomorrow. A little bit of light snow, but it should not amount to much. Mostly it will just turn breezy. Blustery, probably a better word, turning much colder. North wind about 15 to 25, so I'm really not anticipating any serious problems with blowing and drifting. I think it'll drift a little bit, snow will move, but mostly what's going to happen when this Arctic front arrives is it will simply get colder with falling temperatures on Friday to below 0, probably right away in the morning, falling to around 10 below Friday afternoon. Saturday's high 10 below, the low 20 below. Sunday very cold, a little bit warmer Monday into Tuesday. We'll be back up to around 10 degrees. Except for some snow showers Friday, the weather does look dry.
So after Thursday, the temperature is just going to take a dive.
Right, but it's not our first time, so
No,
I guess
but
we won't be too, well,
It's
still
still
don't
nice.
like it.
Yeah.
No. Grand Forks City Council approved a sidewalk project that some residents want, but will cause some troubles for some businesses there. We'll have that story when we return.
And Blue Cross Blue Shield is teaming up in an effort to cut costs.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services.
Out with the old and in with the new. Now at Slumberland, get this love seat free when you buy the sofa for just $5.99. the New Year's sale at Slumberland. Oh, baby, it's a good one.
What on earth?
There's a reason most tools come already assembled. Less hassles, fewer mistakes. Same thing applies to your cereals herbicide.
I'll get your wrench.
Soon you'll be able to control more than 60 broadleaf weeds and grasses. All at a single rate, without tank mixing or additives. Coming this spring.
23, 24, 25, 26.
After my husband's accident, our life was turned upside down. So when it came to the legal aspects of our situation, choosing a lawyer that we trusted was very important. We interviewed several different lawyers and chose Schwebel, Goetz, and Sieben. After working with them, we were allowed to concentrate on my husband's recovery, and it also gave us peace of mind knowing that we had people that are diligent and caring on our side and helping us to recover a fair settlement.
Watch Sioux Hockey Saturday on the Fighting Sioux Sports Network.
Grand Forks City Council has approved upgrading North 51st Street between Gateway and North 10th Avenue. Part of that project includes putting sidewalks on the west side of that street. Now, there are already sidewalks on the east side. Some residents want the west side sidewalks. Several businesses, though, say it's dangerous to have pedestrians near their driveways and parking lots where they have heavy truck traffic, partly because of a truck's blind spot.
We could be possibly having a child on a bike or whatever coming in, and so they don't get in their blind spots. We're going to have to try and look far enough ahead.
I got a sidewalk on my side, and accordingly there's supposed to be sidewalk on both sides of that street, and I think it should be there.
The existing road was constructed in 1974. More than half of the project will be funded with federal dollars.
Blue Cross Blue Shield in North Dakota is teaming up with the Blues in Nebraska in hopes of keeping insurance costs from rising even higher. The insurance companies in both states formed a new company called CoreLink. In Fargo, the Blues expect to hire up to 80 new people this year. Employees of the new company will process insurance claims. This will be done with technology workers in Fargo have been using for years.
It's really in response to taking advantage of an opportunity to help control healthcare costs and escalating costs and keep everybody's costs as low as possible.
And CoreLink hopes to get even more work in the future, which could create more jobs in Fargo and Omaha.
The governor has a plan to help more of North Dakota's uninsured kids get health care coverage, but a group of Democratic legislators says they want to take the idea one step further. Right now, a family of four, making about $32,000 a year, is eligible for coverage under the state Children's Health Insurance Program, or SCHIP. Hovind's plan raises the eligibility to $42,000. Senator Tim Mathern says they want to double the current level to include families who are at 300% of the federal poverty level. Mathern says in some cases, even families with moderate incomes have kids who are uninsured.
Where they are not able to get coverage in a short enough time. We have families where someone has a pre-existing condition which limits them from getting an insurance product for what they can afford.
There are currently about 7,000 uninsured kids in North Dakota. About 1,500 are covered by the current state Children's Health Insurance Program. Hovind's plan would include about 1,000 more kids.
A Perham family is suing the manufacturer of peanut butter products linked to a salmonella outbreak for the death of their mother. Shirley Almer's family says she had salmonella bacteria in her blood when she died at a Brainerd nursing home on December 21st. They say the 72-year-old woman had just battled and overcome a brain tumor. Health officials say Almer consumed peanut butter contaminated by the same strain of salmonella bacteria that has sickened at least 425 people in 43 states. Well, the Sioux men's hockey team is at home this weekend, and it's a big chance for them.
Yes, if they beat Denver twice, they could be #1. Pat has the story next in sport.
cold or warm, you'll save money all this month during the Midwinter Flooring Meltdown at the Carpet Garage. Flippo checks the thermometer every day at 9 a.m. For every degree above or below zero, get a 1% discount on all specially tagged flooring. If it's 25 degrees, your discount is 25% off. Choose from a supermarket selection of famous brand flooring and save. The Midwinter Flooring Meltdown all this month, only at the Carpet Garage, with locations in Grand Forks and West Fargo.
If you're shopping for a car, you should know that Toyota has been rated the best overall value by IntelliChoice.com. Because when you add up sticker price, the cost of gas, maintenance, insurance, and retained value, Toyota does better than any other full-line manufacturer on the road today. Proof that quality saves money. And now save even more on the 31 MPG rated Camry with a low lease of $199 or $1,500 cash back. See your Toyota dealer now to start saving now. Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
When something works in the farming community, word gets around. And before you know it, everyone is part of something good. When that happens on 40 million wheat and barley acres over 10 years, you've done away with more foxtail and wild oats than there are miles on your pickup. Welcome to Puma Nation.
The pins will be flying Sunday at 3 p.m. The finals of the WDAZ Bowling Classic will be broadcast live from Sunset Lanes in Moorhead. The WDAZ Bowling Classic attracts the area's top bowlers, who will be competing for over $9,000 in prizes. Catch the championship action Sunday at 3 p.m. live from Sunset Lanes during the WDAZ Bowling Classic.
Get in the game with unbeatable savings during Colins Big Game Super Sale. With so many great looks and top brands at such low prices, you can't lose. Plus, get fast delivery and pay nothing till 2010. You've got home field advantage during Colins Big Game Super Sale.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by American.
A real chance to decide if the second half surge is real or not, playing a really good team this weekend.
This weekend will tell a lot. On paper, it's simple. If the Sioux take 3 points against Denver this weekend, they will be tied for first place with the Pioneers. But a sweep would put UND on top of the league and knock Denver out of the top spot. The Pioneers are led by sophomore forward Anthony Maiani, who has 28 points in a Denver offense that ranks first in the league. The Pioneers also have the league's best scoring defense. UND associate head coach Kerry Eads says the Pioneers have other weapons too.
Definitely team speed. You know, they have a lot of creative players, a lot of guys up front that really get up and go. And they really press you into playing good defensive sound hockey. You know, they're leading the league in goals for and also goals against. So they have a good puck possession team and a team that's going to cause you headaches and threat every time they're on the ice.
I think they're leading the WCHA in offense and defense. So they're obviously a very good hockey team, and they've been real hot of late. I think they're 8-1-1 their last 10 games. So I think it's going to be a pretty big challenge this weekend for us, but something we're really looking forward to.
The Sioux are 5-0-1 in their last 6 games, while Denver has won its last 7 conference games. You'll see Friday's game here on WDAZ. Our pregame coverage begins at 7 with a special Sioux Sports Extra. Then game coverage starts at 7:30. Saturday's game is exclusively on cable on the Fighting Sioux Sports Network. Twin sisters Jocelyn and Monique Lamoureux of Grand Forks are the co-offensive players of the week in WCHA women's hockey. Last week in the Gophers sweep of Bemidji State, Jocelyn scored 4 goals and 5 assists, while Monique added 5 goals and 3 assists. The latest Minnesota Class A boys hockey poll has St. Thomas Academy on top. Warroad is 5th, Thief River Falls 11th. The Class A girls poll finds Blake a unanimous top choice, with Warroad 3rd, Roseau 4th, Crookston 5th, and East Grand Forks 14th. By now you've probably heard that a bill has been introduced in the North Dakota legislature that would force UND and NDSU to renew their football rivalry, which has been dormant performance since 2003. Basketball is not included in the bill, but the schools have not played each other in basketball since 2004. Sioux basketball coaches weighed in on the matter today. They also favor restarting the Sioux Bison rivalry.
Coming from where I did, it was a part of the legislature in the state of Iowa where I used to coach, and it was a state. We had to play everybody, and it was great for the state. Anytime you can really keep things in-house and promote your programs within the state, it's obviously going to help everybody. Hopefully we can figure this thing out, because I think it's a win-win situation, but you know, it's way above my head.
Coming from North Dakota, living in the state, it's just good for our state. Sooner or later it's going to happen. You know, I just hope it doesn't take legislation to make it happen.
NDSU Athletic Director Gene Taylor says the earliest the football rivalry could restart is 2012 because of the Bison's scheduling commitments. The Sioux have a basketball doubleheader Saturday against their old NCC rival South Dakota. Women's game at 2, men's game at 4. It's part of the NCAA Pack the House Challenge. Fans are urged to help set a new attendance record. In junior college men's play tonight, Williston State drops Lake Region State 84-71. And in a swap of minor league left wings, the Wild traded Ryan Hamilton to Toronto for Robbie Earl, a former Wisconsin Badger. Earl will report to Minnesota's farm team in Houston, Texas.
Okay, thanks.
Well, we're kind of continuing the sports theme as they continue to work on the new stadium. Fans can get a glimpse of what's inside.
The Twins unveiled the stadium's new seats today in Minneapolis. That story and a final look at weather are next.
Every weeknight. There's only one place where the biggest and hottest stars come to let loose.
I'm a senior.
Emmy Award-winning Jimmy Kimmel Live, late night tonight on ABC.
The Doctors is all new.
The news of the sudden passing of John Travolta and Kelly Preston's son Jet shocked us all.
The Doctors go behind the headlines. A Backstreet Boy sheds light on his son's illness.
He broke out in this massive rash.
Then, looking for new ways to treat your kids' colds?
I think it's a great cough suppressant.
Our all-natural remedies. And can this ancient technique heal you?
And celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow swear by it.
On The Doctors.
Weekdays on WDAY, WDAZ.
Coming up this week on Sioux Sports Extra.
We'll preview the women's hockey match against Bemidji State and talk to Sioux basketball coaches Gene Roebuck and Brian Jones.
Watch Sioux Sports Extra Sundays at 10:35 on WDAZ.
My business is a member of the North Dakota Chamber of Commerce.
The voice of North Dakota business. I know that they will keep me informed
about issues that affect my business. The North Dakota Chamber is an advocate for business
and will continue to fight for a pro-business environment in our state.
I am proud to be a member of the North Dakota Chamber of Commerce. Please join me in
securing a great business climate to help North Dakota businesses prosper.
Join the North Dakota Chamber of Commerce today. Call 800-382-1405 or visit ndchamber.com. Now the WDAZ Storm Tracker Recap, sponsored by Evergreen Insurance, your full-service agency in East Grand Forks.
Clear skies and mostly single-digit temperatures around here tomorrow morning, somewhere around 6 or 7 degrees early in the morning. Warming up to about 23. Sky's going to turn cloudy. Northwest wind 5 to 15. One more fairly mild day before much colder weather will move into the area for tomorrow night and the weekend.
Twins fans will soon leave the blue seats of the Metrodome behind. Today we got our first look at the seats that will fill the team's new stadium. There will be traditional plastic ones and even plush high-back seats. The suites. You'll also see wood-back seats like these on the club level. The team hopes it will create a different feel for the stadium, and news that will make many people happy, you'll have a couple more inches of legroom than in the Metrodome.
And you'll see the sun on nice days.
Well, yeah.
And you'll get rained on bad days. But that's the beauty of outdoor baseball, which is what everybody wants to see. So.
It's always a little crammed in some of those seats in the Metrodome, so that extra legroom is going to be a little nice.
Yes, I would think so. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Channel 8 Television, WDAZ, Devils Lake, Grand Forks.